Hey, what's going on? Uh, yo, just chilling, man. Really about to head back to New York. Just freezing, dog. It's cold all around right now in Houston. But I definitely want to just get my piece on this feud that's for some reason is brewing. It shouldn't be brewing. Um, it's definitely a huge distraction. It's something that's really it's like a waste of it's a waste of time for the entire collective, and it also is the ego. A lot of egos in the room with this. Um, let's go on and just air this out. I know a lot of people have been doing contests on this little whatever supposedly beef or whatever. I don't call it a beef, but this is what it is. You got ADOS on one side, you got FBA on the other side. American Descendant of Slavery, Foundational Black American. Two different types of basically origin points, two different types of avenues, but still on the tree of black empowerment, and the foundational, you could say, root of it is still lineage. They're still linked to basically American slavery and Jim Crow and everything else that was definitely institutional organized racism or racism in the Americas, basically, that we also experience as well. Right now you got Tariq, you got Meaty X, you got Yvette, you got Tone. Everybody else has said their piece, but didn't mention no names. But they said there was some key things that need to be said. And there was already some, let's just be real with it. Nobody, I know when Tariq announced the conference or the Black Foundation of Black American Conference, look, I had no problem with the conference. In my book, I said the more the merrier. I mean, we never really ever really had the actual legit, except for the ADOS conference, but we can always have more conference. There's nothing to be said about crowdfunding. Everybody do crowdfunding. Everybody do, like I said, I mean, it is what it is. If there was something that wasn't right, nobody wouldn't be doing the crowdfunding with most of these people. There's a lot of egos to it. A lot of egos to it. It's a lot of things that should have been said. Some of this should have been said in a private manner. You got a lot of emails. You guys got maybe phone numbers, or you can DM people. But making videos and just putting it out there, I think that's a wrong way of doing it. Now I knew I knew he talked about the Trump. Like I said in my last video, Trump do not have no black agenda. Now you talk about opportunity zones. I did a piece on opportunity zones on my Instagram. Check me out on Big Bird. The opportunity zones is not open to everybody. It's only open to a certain group of people. You gotta have money. Yes, you don't pay no taxes, but also too that's lost revenue in the community. Yeah, you gotta keep your business there, but that's a tax-free zone. It's a tax-free zone. Any business will love that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's not going back to the community. You're getting tax-free money and you're making money, but it's not generally going back into the community. And actually you're not even going to hire the people in that community. So it's almost like a government cipher. It's a government funded program because you're ciphering money out the community, while the government is giving you basically basically no tax. You're basically exempt. So it's a bad program for any poverty type of community, because even when you're doing some business, instantly the property taxes start going up. So anybody that's living in the area, they can't pay their property taxes or the value of the rent, because everything is now going up because of the investments that's going into some of the areas, basically particularly the business that's all tax exempt. So it's a bad policy. Tariq, I always respect Tariq, but Tariq in politics, he's not the most keen figure. One thing, he have not studied politics. A lot of people haven't studied politics. You really have to go into the cranny of the politics to understand politics. That's one thing Tariq really don't talk about. He talks about psychological and ideologies of fundamental white supremacy, organized racism. But there's other factors that he do not verse well. He got certain knowledge of certain, but not the entirety of it. You know what I'm saying? He jumped out too quick. Like I said, you're free to give out your thoughts, but you're also free to get criticism, and that's what he did. He got criticism. Now he took it the wrong way. He took it the wrong way. Tone, I think, addressed it, but somewhat in my mind, Tone shouldn't address it. He didn't need to talk about ADOS is anti-immigrants. You got to come to a conclusion. Him and Yvette got to come to the conclusion that white supremacy wants you to fall no matter what. And that's just what it is. I think there's a lot of ego in this, because I think you want people that really want to be the face of this movement. And I call it the reparation movement. I don't call it the ADOS movement. I don't call it the FBA, because those are identities. Those are terms that many Black Americans use to distinguish themselves from other Black groups. There's nothing wrong with using foundational Blacks or ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. There's no harsh feelings of using those words. Black Americans been called multiple terms and words throughout history. Even now, even recently, right now. We got 4 terms that we go by. We go by American Black, we go by Black American, we go just by Black, and we also go by African American. Those 4 terms are there because a lot of the collective did not agree on a singular term to be designated to. This is natural, but it all means basically what it means. The thing is, those 4 terms, now Black American, American Black was a little bit more formulated to what you now have of foundational Black America and American descendant of slavery. Now, some people will talk about it's not, they were talking about immigrants can use, no. They're not, one thing, a lot of immigrants, especially even the Caribbean, is not going to call themselves a descendant of slaves in America when they know they're not American. Being American, you just don't call yourself an American off of one generation. One generation do not see themselves as that ethnicity of the country that they were born in. Even though some would say, yeah, I'm American, but that is only in reference of saying I'm a citizen of a country I was born. It's not like I have historic, cultural, tribal ties to this country. They're not going to recognize that. It's real easy to that. You know what I'm saying? Being a citizen is one thing. Claiming your ethnicity, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different ballgame. People don't give up their ethnicity that quick. They'll talk about their citizenship because that's easy. But you get down to the ethnicity, people's going to tell you real quick they're not American. So if somebody say I'm American, yes, there's a lineage to that. There's a lineage to that. There's historical sweat, blood, and tear into that. So definitely there shouldn't be no reason black people cannot use either of those terms. I'm glad we got two options and reference points of describing ourselves. It still mean the same thing in origin roots. It still mean the same thing. This is an egotistic, it's ego going on. Like I said, a few people, white supremacy is a coalition. There's many different groups that's under that flag of white supremacy. Their main goal is to disrupt Black American foundational and ADOS. It's that point. It's that clear. The reparation we all need to get to is this reparation and this black agenda. I'm trying to get the bag for the group and everything else that's entitled to us. I'm not about distractions. I'm not about nothing. If Tariq is wrong, he needs to be called out for it. If a vet is somewhat wrong, she needs to be called out. If Tone, sometimes he could be wrong. There's certain things he could be wrong. When he gets into the interracial and the technical, sometimes he'll come a little sideways with it, and people need to correct him on that. There's a lot of faults and a lot of missteps that a lot of people have there's strong suits and there's weak suits. Michi X, I love Michi X for her honesty. She do advocate. She do get down at grassroots, but she got outbursts. She gets emotional. Sometimes her outbursts is uncalled for. Tariq sometimes get mature. Instead of just ignoring, he will respond. And then sometimes his response could be a 50-50 reaction to the mass. But the thing about it is, the people will put their support and who they going to support. Also, too, you got the people that's doing their own work and spreading out the word and advocating for their people. So you can't just put these figureheads as the leaders, because there ain't no leaders. Everybody, they like a lot of them even tell you in their past videos, I'm not a leader. I'm just want to speak the truth. But sometimes you see the action, but they are in very defense of the movement, because and some of them feel like they came out with the movement. They will take issues with certain fractions or certain persons or the individual who do come into the movement. But the thing about the movement is, this movement been here. This movement been going on for hundreds of years. It's called Black Empowerment. That's the movement. We've been having multiple avenues of Black empowerment forever. Since the abolition days, all the way into the civil rights movement. It's all Black empowerment. To right now, the reparation movement, I call it. It's still Black empowerment, because you're going for the last leg, economic inclusion. All the way. Now, people talk about, like I said, this reparation movement and this Black empowerment can expose a lot of people that you thought was willing preparation of Black empowerment, and you find out not really at all. And it's going to keep exposing. The abolition movement did the same thing. The early Pan-African movements did the same thing. All movements is still reverting to Black empowerment. And that's what it is. I know everybody's doing their field, want to philosophize this. There's really ain't no philosophizing this. It's straight to the point. There's no choosing side to it, because it's all Black empowerment. I'm a rock with the FBA, and I'm rocking with ADOS. If the FBA is on some bullshit, I'm going to call them out. If ADOS on some bullshit, I'm going to call them out. And I hope everybody do the same. I am about to get in the bag for the clique. My clique is American Black, Black American. That's FBA and ADOS. I'm about the bag. I'm about that check. That's what it is. Nothing ain't stopping me for it. That's just what it is. White supremacy is a coalition. People need to understand this. When people talk about diversity or even talk about minority, those are code words for white supremacy, organized racism. You need to understand. I'm out. One.